Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here on this 28th of February, 2020. You know, there's a lot going on, and one of the big reasons why cryptocurrency's been taking a little bit of a beating, and it's actually done pretty well, really, considering what's going on. Let's start the charts right here and take a look. This is what's going on in the stock market. Down an incredibly long way over the last week or so, We've got a situation out there with a virus spreading around. And this is an unusual situation, and the reason why is because seems like containment efforts are failing. This thing's able to seed itself and undercover seed itself with people who are asymptomatic. And what that basically means is it'll seed itself with nobody even knowing it's there, because temperature checks don't really work. Once it gets seeded, then you see the first cases pop up after it's already seeded itself. There was probably a window of opportunity where they could have stopped this virus in China early on, if they had to take drastic efforts. But at this point in time, the markets, these traders, they don't really care. Traders don't really care. They just care about making money. And what they don't realize is as you see, the bottom happened early this morning, and now they've been trading it up. They've been trading the market up as the day progresses. They look at these prices and they say, wow, it's cheap. The market's cheap. Let's get in there. Let's buy on the dip, and we'll make lots of money like we always have over the last 10 or 12 years or whatever, But, what they're not seeing is the fundamentals out there in the world of an overpriced market. And then this thing coming along out of nowhere, this black swan event. And generally, black swan events resolve themselves. And in a lot of people's minds, they disassociate themselves. They have something called normalcy bias. And also they disassociate. And so they're in there, they're buying the market back up again somewhat, it's come back up some. And it's apt to come back up quite a little bit more, but then what's going to happen is, looking a little bit further out in the future, bad news is going to come. Really bad news, I think, is going to come. And then we're going to see big drops in the market. So it's going to catch these guys. It's a trap. It's a fool's rally. Because I don't see this situation resolving itself. Like, quite often, most times, situations resolve themselves. I don't see this one resolving itself. In fact, I see it growing exponentially worse, because it's growing exponentially. And the thing is how is it going to affect cryptocurrencies? Well, I see a tremendous buying opportunity maybe coming up in cryptocurrencies, where you might get Bitcoin at a tremendously low price. No, Bitcoin's not going to die. If that's what you guys are thinking, it's going to die. It's not going to die. It's just that the bottom's going to drop down on it. The price is going to go down lower and lower. I don't know how low it might go, because this situation has the potential to grow exponentially until it reaches a point where it can't grow anymore. And the reason why it can't grow anymore is there's nothing to grow on. It's a finite planet, and this thing then will proceed to start to disappear at that point. It'll start, once it reaches its last doubling, where it can't double anymore, then what'll happen is it'll start its road to disappearing, and the world will start its road to recovery. But at that point, everything might be really flattened, because think about it right now. By the official statistics, there's less than 100,000 people that have this. And look at the trouble it's caused. Now, picture in your mind, if that 100,000 people that got it, there's about 8 billion people on the earth, right? And picture how many times 100,000 would go into 8 billion. Well, I think it's like 100,000 times or whatever. So this thing has an awful lot of potential to double and double again and double again and double again and double again and double again. It will reach a spot where it can't double, the final doubling. It'll go through the final doubling process where there's not enough people left on the earth to double anymore, and then the thing starts to disappear. But by that time, what's the economy going to look like? What's the world going to look like? And is the stock market going to fare any better than crypto? Is the gold and silver going to fare any better than crypto? You have to ask yourself these questions. And what is the bond market and all these other markets going to do? Are they going to fare better? Everything's going to suffer. Everything's going to go down together, you know. And basically, I guess what I'm saying to you guys is, unless a miracle comes along, we're going into not a recession. We're going into a global depression. And in fact, the economies of the world for a period of time of possibly, I'm going to think when this thing is at its worst, I can see the economies of the world going almost down to nothing, no production of anything. So talk about supply side distribution problems, talk about supply chains getting cut. Supply chains will be non-existent. Nothing will be moving. The highways will be empty. Do you remember seeing those pictures from the epicenter of this, where the streets are all empty in these big major cities? Nobody's moving, nothing's moving. Planes are all grounded. Picture a world that might last for 2 or 3 months, where the planes are all grounded, buses are all in their station, just sitting there idle. Taxis aren't even running. You can't even get an Uber. You know, picture a world where all public transit stopped, where even the trucks might stop for 2 or 3 months. And the stores, I mean, this thing could get really ugly in a massive way. And so instead of really focusing our attentions on what Bitcoin is doing, Bitcoin will suffer through this, guys. And it might make a superb buying opportunity. Because I think on the other side of this, I think this thing's going to disappear as fast as it comes. That's what I think. I think this thing's going to move through so fast, so unbelievably fast, once it really starts to take off, once it gets fully seeded. It's almost like, you know, when you first plant seeds in the garden, you don't even see this. You don't even see them. They're little tiny, tiny little things. But you wait a week or two when they really start to grow, and then you see that they put on this big spurt of growth, you know? And this is what this thing's doing. It's seeding itself everywhere right now. And the next thing, you're going to see the growth. Then it's going to move so fast. It's going to move like I can't begin to tell you how fast. I was watching a thing on there the other day, you know, with it was a NASA test site out there, and they're testing this jet rocket that was able to go 6,800 miles an hour, and they had a camera set up near the track where this thing come through it, 6,800 miles an hour, and it was like you couldn't see it coming off in the distance. It just like bang, right by you. You couldn't see it. It was like if you blinked your eyes, you'd miss it. It made an awful roar behind it. That's how fast this thing's going around the world, right? You know, and a lot of these guys out there, like in the scientific community, guys that study stuff like this and everything, they're thinking it's like the flu, you know. They're thinking that it's going to take like 2 years to spread through the world population, like the pandemic of 1918, where the Spanish flu took 2 years to disseminate itself through the population. That's the flu, with an R0 value of about 1.3. You know, and the flu's a slow thing. It takes its time spreading through the population with an R0 of like 1.3. This thing, the R0 value is exceedingly higher, and also it's able to seed itself much more effectively. And so it's not the flu. It's not the flu indeed. The flu would take 2 years to go all the way through, and that's why the flu of the Spanish influenza took 2 years. My grandmother told me about that. She said that it took an extra long time to get a certain remote communities and stuff, you know. This thing's not moving like that. This thing's moving 10 times faster. 10 times faster. Maybe 20 times faster. This thing is moving like the wind. And so it'll be gone. That's what's going to happen. It's going to disappear. It's going to be gone. You know, and once everybody's had it, it's going to disappear so fast. It's going to disappear as fast as it came. And that's when we're going to go through the recovery. That's also the same point in time when people are going to have less faith in fiat currencies than they've ever had before. And that's also the point in time when you're going to be able to pick up some cryptocurrency, probably at the cheapest price. And that's where we're going to see, that's when we're going to see the most meteoric rises of this new technology, which is the blockchain technology. So it's not going to die. It's going to just have to go through this period that we're all going to have to go through. And no financial product, I don't think, is going to survive very good. This is the sort of thing where do you put your money? And as far as I see, watching the markets today, I think cryptocurrency's doing as good as anything else out there. Everything's taking a beating. So you guys are taking a beating with cryptocurrency. You know, the gold and silver guys are taking a beating too today. The Dow Jones and those guys are taking a tremendous beating. Everybody's taking a beating today from this. And this isn't over. Far from over, guys. Okay? This thing is just getting going. Listen, thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.